What is tradition when Cindy Sisson is standing in front of the room? No, not clapping.
Wave.
The wave. Okay. So we always start an event, a WIMNA event when I'm present, with a wave, like the real wave, like woohoo kind of wave. So we'll, I think, start this way, because I always go this way. And what you're going to do is I go 1, 2, 3, and I know a lot of you have done this before. You're going to go, Rick, get up, and just scream as loud as you can. Woo! All right. Everybody get ready.
We're all stepping away. I'll read the that Saturday is that good in the West State. Yeah, that's sports. You're right. Good. All right. We're going to start our 15 right there, Melissa. Oh, how are you again? I thought out there. So set. All right, everybody ready? So we're going to start over here. And it's really easy. And then that direction side. And if you don't do well, we're going to do it again. I'm sorry. They're being judged. It's been going on since 2025. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Down. There's fighters.
That's really, really impressive. So, as you know, well, you probably don't know this, but I have a big announcement to make. We have 6 chapters now. Started in Charlotte in 2023, Detroit, Monterey, Elkhart Lake, and Southern California, and our newest chapter, drumroll please, the United Kingdom. And I'm super excited about that, and more details to follow. But WIMNA on April 22nd of this year will be celebrating its 4th year. And I love this saying, we've come a long way, baby, but we've got a lot more to go. And what's super exciting is the mixed crowd here, students and academia and our amazing sponsors. And we have our board member, Lisa Boggs, raise your hand. And our co-founder, the famous Grand Dame, Lynn St. James. And then I believe Meredith is going to introduce, Meredith, the amazing president of WIMNA Southern California, is going to introduce her team. I could go on, but there's a lot to cover tonight, and we have an amazing panel. But I just said April 22nd, and we are going to be making a huge announcement that day, like changing WIMNA. And for 6 years now, this will be our 6 years, we have solely focused on our outreach efforts on our Women with Drive Summit, driven by Mobile One. Last year we had 634 people there, 75 speakers, 60 partners. So we have a call out right now for speakers. So if you like what you see and you want to make a presentation, we're looking for calls for presentations. The event is December 7th, 8th, and 9th, leading into PRI. Where's Karen Davis and all the PRI folks? Woohoo! Yeah, they came to us after the 3rd year and said, why are you not doing this in partnership with us at Indianapolis, leading into PRI? And you guys have been amazing partners. We open up Monday night at the IMS Museum, the newly renovated museum, 2-day summit, and then we have discounts and all kinds of programming thanks to our dear friends at PRI. So April 22nd, we are going to be doing a hard launch on our WIMNA Nation, our first membership program. And when Lynn and I started this about 6 years ago, the number one question we always get is, how do I become a member of your organization? So there's a little blue flyer on your chair, and I'm going to ask you to consider becoming a member. It starts with college students at 25, early professionals at 75. I guess we're more emerging professionals at $150, and then a lifetime membership, $1,000 one-time fee. And I'm really proud. Dean Case, he said, I want to be a lifetime member. He goes, but I have to be number one. So he is number one. Let's give him a hand. Lynn, I'm sorry, I should have made you number one, but I had to get the $1,000, so we made Dean number one. So if you look at the little blue brochure, there's a QR code. We will be sustainable if you participate. And each of the chapters do get a piece of the action, let's say, so we can do more events in Southern California, so we can eventually have scholarships and program for college students, but we can only do that with all of your support, okay? So promise me you'll consider joining, and I will give you a big hug and a kiss at the end of the day. All right. Let's see. Where's Meredith? Come on, dear. So Meredith Burns, wow. Let's give her a hand. So last year when we did our kickoff Southern California, we did it with the Porsche Experience with Elizabeth. Stand up, please. And Elizabeth Walmark and her husband, Bo Robinson. Bo's a very accomplished artist, especially in Porsche. He donated one of his paintings to the summit, the Pink Pig, and it's hanging in my bedroom, and I love it. But thank you. The bad news for you is that you have very limited space. The good news for the Lions Museum is we have almost 150 people here tonight. And we have been doing chapter events now for 3 years. This is the biggest event we've ever had outside of our summit. And thank you for all your hard work and the rest of your team. So a lot to cover. Meredith, take the ball.
All right. Thank you so much, Cindy. First of all, in addition to Cindy, I would like to thank Lynn, both of you, for allowing me to be in this position as the president of the Southern California chapter. It's just, to me, it's such an honor. And to see everybody here tonight is so overwhelming. If we have the largest event, we've already set the bar high. Let's just keep raising that bar with each event. And all of you are part of that. So thank you so much for that. I would like to recognize my team, the leadership team who's here tonight. Aurora Carrillo, Dean Case, Ellie Greer, Emily Sharp, Caitlin Shellhorn, Melanie Johnson, Nicola Weiss, and Vanessa Belk. Can we give them a round of applause? Yes.
I forgot one thought. So last year at the event at the Porsche Experience, we had the pleasure of having Melanie Johnson, raise your hand, drag racer, and Alyssa Parr with Speedmaster. Can you just come up real quick and tell everybody what's going on? I forgot that. I'll let you give everybody the big surprise.
To start?
Sure. Sure. Hello, everybody. So if you do not know Speedmaster, I just want you to remember one thing. We make awesome car parts. That's all you have to remember. But we actually are a manufacturer of engine components. So this is aftermarket car parts. For example, 67 Mustang you're building, you'll be able to get everything from us. So number one thing is why we connect with WIMNA. Now, our company is 46 years this year, 46 years old business. And our founder, one of them, is a woman. And women in motorsports is meaningful for us. And we actually employ at different levels in our organization. So warehouse workers, customer service, marketing, like Melanie, and even executive level, like myself. So, of course, WIMNA is a natural fit for us. We went to the launch of SoCal chapter. And where was that at? Porsche Experience. Yes. So, see if you guys are listening. But that's where Melanie and I connected. So I'll let her take the mic right now and talk a little bit about that connection that we had there at the WIMNA and the Porsche experience. Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah, it was, I guess, just happenstance that I sat at a table next to Melissa, and we instantly hit it off. As I'm sure most of you have that experience, you connect with the women that are here at this event and at other events, and we were just talking about racing. She didn't really know a lot about drag racing, so I was able to share that part of it. And we just continued to keep in touch after that event, and she invited me for a tour at their facility. And when I tell you, one of the most impressive facilities I've ever seen, it's incredible. And continue to stay in touch, see her at events. Speedmaster is involved in drag racing, displaying at the Midway there. So it was a great opportunity to just pop in, say hi. And I don't know if she got sick of me or what, but she finally said, hey, let's get together at PRI, continue the conversation. And I shared my deck, my spiel, my proposal with them. And it kind of just all worked itself out as we went back and forth. And in Pomona last weekend, we were able to launch our partnership for the 2026 season. So thank you, Speedmaster, for going down this path with me.
We could talk long too if you wanted to, but we could take all night.
Thank you both so much. And just so anybody is located in the Inland Empire, Speedmaster is in Rialto. So WIMNA is planning on having an event in their facility coming up this year. So it'll be convenient for those folks. So while I'm up here, I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Jessica Finney and Kelvin Fu of Honda Racing Corporation, and Karina Gonzalez of Bridgestone Firestone. Also, Tammy Lorenzen and Lana Chrisman of Lions Museum. Thank you for allowing us to host this. And finally, aren't these badges fantastic? I just want to give Aniston Arnett a shout out. Thank you so much for these. If anybody needs some nice badges for their upcoming events, please reach out to Aniston. Their information is on the back. Awesome. And then we have our vendors. So we have Christy Shimke of Crash Jewelry, Melissa Para of Speedmaster, Melissa Way of Karma Care California, and Sherry Ma of the Grandstand Project. So as you can see some of the logos that we had up here earlier, I'd just like to have a few of our co-hosts come up here and share a little bit about their organizations. So we're going to start off with Emily Sharp and Vanessa Belk of SAE SoCal. Come on up.
Yes.
And also, too, is Jerry Lynn Metzger here by chance of SWE-LA? Okay, great. All right.
Hi, everyone. This is an incredible turnout, and Vanessa and I are so honored to be one of the co-hosts here tonight alongside WIMNA SoCal, SWE, and MPG. We are representing SAE SoCal, and as many of you know, SAE SoCal spans all forms of mobility, from ground transportation to aerospace, and collectively, SAE International brings together over 128,000 engineers and technical experts, and we are just two incredibly passionate volunteers, part of our chapter, and we are really proud to be a fully volunteer-led chapter. And so that goes without saying. We're always looking for more volunteers to bring their voices, their perspective, and their passion to help us represent our region that spans from SLO all the way down to San Diego. Vanessa, my colleague here, is our programs chair, and I'm going to pass it over to her so she can tell you a little bit more about our student-run programs and events coming up.
So as most of you may know, SAE runs the Collegiate Design Series, which involves Formula, Baja, and Aero Design, which are all incredible programs for students to get real hands-on experience, whether building it's a Baja car, a Formula car, or going into the Aero Design competition. These are the best way for students to get involved in hands-on, industry-related experience, going to competition, interacting with maybe future employers, having conversations that'll really change their lives. And this involves students across disciplines, not just engineering. At least on my racing team in college, we had people from business and history and graphic design all coming together to form just an amazing team. A little bit on the SAE events note, we have a lot of amazing events coming up this year. Please follow our various social medias, LinkedIn, etc., to keep up with those. Our next SAE meeting is May 7th here at Lions, where we'll have one of the past presidents of SAE International speaking. The SAE Collegiate Design Series will also be featured at SAE SoCal next Tuesday at UCI. Dean Case will probably give a little bit more detail on that. But overall, it's just so amazing to have such a great group of people here. I mean, look at this turnout. It's incredible. And looking forward to seeing you all at upcoming events. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jerry Lynn Metzger, and I see two cameras pointing at me. I'm here from Society of Women Engineers, Los Angeles. I'm our current section treasurer. I'm excited to actually know who Dean is now, because we've emailed for years, but I don't think we've met before. But Society of Women Engineers, as most of you probably know, is supporting women in STEM at all stages. So K through 12 outreach, collegiate outreach, as well as professional development. Our Los Angeles Professional Development Conference is coming up next Friday. I don't remember the name of the building, but it's in downtown Los Angeles. Dean will be there. And we have 10 tickets left. And we've specifically set aside 10 discounted tickets for folks using an SAE promo code, because we didn't quite know to make a WIMNA promo code. My apologies. But I have a QR code. It may or may not work, but you can see me after if folks are available next Friday. I made it today. Again, technology is our friend. But you can see me after if you are interested and available for a professional development conference next Friday. We have a couple keynotes, several coaches, and a lot more networking like today. But otherwise, losangeles.swe.org is quite easy to remember, and it's our website, and it gets you to all of our socials and all of the other ways to connect with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. I'm going to have Jim Dvorak come up here. He's with Mothers, but he's also representing Motor Press Guild. And also, too, is there anybody here who does not know who Dean Case is? Because if you do not, you need to know this man. He is the best networker I've met in my 30-plus years of being in this industry. So I just want to give a shout-out to Dean. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I started out in the automotive community in the 1990s and joined Motor Press Guild, and that's where I met Dean Case, one of the most famous people, obviously, in this part of the world and the automotive. And if you need to know another person, it's Lana Chrisman, because she knows everybody that Dean knows and more. But what others have shared here tonight is that it's important to belong to an organization that will help your career. Thanks to Motor Press Guild, I had 2 jobs in automotive related public relations and writing, and I've been working for Mother's High Performance Car Care for the last 20-some years. I'm glad to be here. Motor Press Guild connects journalists and OEMs and aftermarket manufacturers to help write about cars, drive cars. We do an event every year called a Drive Day, and we do museum tours like this here at Lions, and other networking events that'll help you make a connection to change your life, if not your career. And we're just glad to be here and be a part of supporting this great event. Thank you so much. motorpressguild.org or Instagram and Facebook, Motor Press Guild. I got some business cards at the back table.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jim. So when I started at performance racing industry 30 years ago, I would have never thought I would be on this stage doing what I'm going to do. But I am so excited to have this opportunity. I get to introduce Lynn St. James. So Lynn is the co-founder and past president of Women in Motorsports North America. She was named one of the top 100 female athletes of the 20th century by Sports Illustrated. She set 21 national and international speed records. She's a 7-time competitor in the Indianapolis 500, including earning Rookie of the Year honors in 1992. She is passionate about mentoring drivers in auto racing, as well as women in the automotive and motorsports space. Let's give Lynn a well-deserved welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, Lions, for hosting this. Who knew what was behind that building when you're outside? I just drove over from Phoenix and, try to find it. So thanks for the little extra information about coming off of, I think it's Santa Fe. Anyway, I had no idea. Actually, Cindy and I and Beth, and about 40 other people got together on Zoom calls during COVID and started to realize that there was something here that maybe there was something. Timing is everything, and that maybe something was happening and that we should get together and get organized. And so it's just, timing is everything. And also, Melanie, there is no such thing as happenstance. You two were supposed to be sitting next to each other and have that conversation, and you were supposed to take action. It's destiny. I mean, truly, I could go on, and so many things that have happened in my life that, you wonder, how did that happen? Well, you have to be there, you have to take action, you have to put the energy out of what it is you want and what you're trying to accomplish. And one of the things I love about WIMNA is, I know a lot of people, but I don't remember a lot of people. So I always remember a face that's sometimes not a name. But because we all live in our silos, so whether it was me trying to get ready to, drive race cars, or Lisa who's trying to, get the tires in Cara, I mean, it's like we all live in our silos doing what we do, but there's an opportunity of something like this, not just our chapters, but just having the ability to be able to connect and get to know people better. I have a theory, I've shared this with the gentleman who gave me a tour, which is women need to be invited. Men just show up. Men will crash a party in a heartbeat. Women will say, oh no, we really shouldn't go because we weren't invited. And so what WIMNA is really doing is inviting women to show up, to come to events, to look at the space of motorsports. And if there's a place for you and you want it, go for it and go after it. And it isn't just about women, because we need allies. We need men to be able to help make those opportunities happen, to help encourage women. Just the whole thing is, it's a universe. And it's a nation of people trying to help motorsports grow, and it is growing, and that's one of the things I'm most excited about. So we have some fantastic speakers, and my job was to introduce the speakers. And these are another example where, just the first one I'm going to introduce, Georgia. It's like we see each other at the track. We've got maybe 3 seconds. Hi, how are you? Get a hug. But now we've gotten a chance to get to know each other. So Georgia Hannenberry, you want to kind of come up while I'm yapping about you? She's a broadcast reporter for the NTT IndyCar Series on Fox Sports, where she brings fans closer to the action and stories behind the sport. A former racer turned broadcaster, she began her career in karting and micro sprint racing before transitioning into the media, covering IndyCar, Indy Next, and the Formula E Series. Today, she combines firsthand racing experience with storytelling to connect audiences to the heart of motorsports. Off track, she's a proud mom to Waylon, who is 14 months old, and her fur baby, now I got it, her little puppy, Tuna. So welcome. Thank you. Yeah, have a seat. You're gonna moderate, okay. Sorry, you were the first one on my list, so I'm gonna give it. Okay, Miss Lisa Boggs, Director of Motorsports for Bridgestone Americas, also a founding board member of WIMNA. She leads the marketing and sponsorship strategy for the Firestone Racing and the NTT IndyCar Series. With more than 20 years of experience, she's shaped how global brands connect with fans across IndyCar and NASCAR. She's also a dedicated industry leader in helping advance the next generation through her work as a founding board member of WIMNA. Thanks. Cara Krstolic, I always destroy her last name, is Executive Director of Race Tire Engineering and Production for Firestone Racing at Bridgestone Americas, where she leads the design, development, and performance of race tires at the highest levels of motorsports. With nearly 2 decades in the racing, she has played a key role in advancing tire technology, including the iconic Indianapolis 500. She's also a passionate STEM advocate, committed to inspiring the next generation of engineers. She's also a musician, playing many instruments, including the flute. I just learned that not too long ago, yes. Cara, thank you. Hannah Westbrook, who I just met tonight, is a principal engineer and applications group lead at Honda Racing Corporation USA, where she leads electrical systems integration across IndyCar, IMSA, and advanced hybrid projects. With a background spanning Motec, USA, and various global racing series, she brings deep expertise in data systems, electronics, and performance engineering. Today, she's helping drive the future of motorsports through innovation and leadership. Thank you very much for coming, for leading this. It's all yours, Georgia. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Well, let's give it up for Lynn St. James. How about that? We have a panel of gorgeous women up here that I'm lucky enough to work with every race weekend. So it is so lovely to see you not at the racetrack, actually. So, and thank you everyone for being here. Thank you to everyone who's spoken, and let's get into some questions. So I'm going to ask some questions first. We're going to get their perspectives on it, and then we're going to open it up to everyone. So if there's any questions that your wheels are turning throughout the event, keep them, and we will get to you. So let's get into it, ladies. How about it? All right. Motorsports can feel like a difficult industry to break into. So starting with Lisa, and we'll kind of go down the line, what was your path into motorsports, and did you face any barriers when getting to where you are today?
It's the song. Is it on? Thank you. This is why I sit close to Cara at all times. My partner in crime.
She helps me with words.
Yeah. Like, stop. Oh, hello, everyone. First of all, thanks for coming tonight. This is an amazing group, and it really speaks to how important what we're all doing is. How proud to be up here with these ladies. So my path into motorsport is the perfect story for why you just get in and do what you love and you learn along the way. I started at an ad agency. We had a client that sponsored Indy cars. I go to a race in Michigan. I can do this for a living. Are you kidding me? Raise your hand. I raised my hand when an opportunity came up to go work for our client full time. At that time, I became a comms person for Marlboro Team Penske, working with Al Jr., because we're in Long Beach, so relevant. And from there, spent years doing that, went to a PR agency, and then got the opportunity to come to Firestone. And I think the key to that is I made decisions to build a career, raise my hand, seek, look for new opportunities along the way. There really weren't barriers per se, other than it's a lot what Lynn said. There's a bit of destiny, there's a bit of timing, there's a bit of creating and raising your hand in a moment when you see it and taking that risk. So that for me was the perfect example. Made a decision, saw an opportunity, raised my hand, because literally nobody would be Al's publicist at the time. I'll do it. And they brought me on. That's how this all started. And then you just sort of build a career, make decisions, and build relationships. So with that, I will turn it over to Cara.
All right. I'm glad we have this great, diverse group of people. My start in motorsports, I was always interested in science. My mom was a science teacher. My grandfather was an engineer for NASA, worked on the space shuttle. But I went to school for engineering, and somebody invited me to go down to the Formula SAE shop and work on their race car or see their race car, just tour a little bit. I didn't know, and I say this with all seriousness, my plus versus my minus screwdriver when I went down for the very first time. All I knew about cars is my dad swore about rebuilding carburetors a whole lot. That's all I knew.
So I started out with the Formula SAE team in the University of Akron, and I start where many of us that go through the program like that do, sweeping the floor, because I don't know anything about the car. I can't really contribute. So I learned, I asked lots of questions, and I went from not knowing my screwdrivers apart to being able to use a mill, a lathe, machine tools, rebuilding a Honda CBR engine, working with Motec and some others. So we're doing some really neat things there. Fast forward to the job opportunity that came about at Bridgestone. I found out that there was a job opportunity, and I went and I interviewed. Started out in our tire vehicle dynamics group, but I knew I really wanted to work in motorsports. So like Lisa, sometimes you raise your hand and sometimes you create opportunities. So I went and I spoke with the manager at the time. And I feel like I am one of those people that when I was younger, I needed to be invited. Like Lisa says, raise your hand when you have opportunities. But I went up to the manager at the time and I said, hi, my name is Cara. I worked on the Formula SAE program. And when I was in school, I know a bit about vehicle dynamics. I would love to work for the race tire manufacturing and race tire engineering team. What are you looking for in your perfect engineer? He just looked at me like nobody's ever asked me that question before. So he's like, let me think about it. He went to talk to his chief engineer at the time. They came back and they said, all right, they gave me a list of 3 things. And since there's a lot of you in SAE here, they were understanding vehicle dynamics, being able to understand tire force and moment behavior, and then being good at programming, being fluent in a programming languages, and what we were using at the time was MATLAB. So I studied those things, and there wasn't a job opportunity or a job opening for another 3.5 years. And when that came about, I went and I interviewed, and it was like I had the answer key. So being persistent, started out engineering road course, street course tires, went on to do oval tires. Then at some point, I took over all of the engineering. And then I had the wild idea to go to the head of technology at the time and say, manufacturing and engineering just doesn't work closely enough together. We need to do something to make that better. And he said, okay, why don't you take all of it? So that's how I didn't want it. It's great now.
Hi, I'm Hannah. My passion or my trip into motorsports was pretty fast-paced. I didn't grow up with anybody in my family in motorsports. Nobody kind of knew anything about cars and close. Yeah. Didn't know anything about cars or anything like that. So I didn't really have a lot of background, but my dad was an electronics engineer. So I grew up doing a lot of playing around with O-scopes and kind of building small circuit boards with him. We built an amplifier for my guitar when I was 12, and that was kind of eye-opening to me in the whole world of kind of engineering. Went to school, University of Pittsburgh, and same thing. I got introduced to the Formula SAE team. So I spent 4 years doing that. I had a classmate that came back from an internship at Motec and said, oh, this is amazing. They're doing all these electronics. You get to work on all these different cars. And I said, sign me up. So I happened to apply, talked to the manager at the time, and they brought me in for an interview and was hired there. So straight out of college, straight into working at Motec for motorsports. And on my 6th or 7th day of the job was thrown into the Daytona Roar. So just sink or swim kind of thrown in and trying to kind of survive there. But I guess I will bring up one of the kind of the issues or things, hurdles that you run into is I was the first female engineer that Motec USA had ever hired. So it was kind of a new world for them. And I was about 8 months into working there, and I got hired to do an engine tuning job for a car. And the person said, no, I don't want her. She's a female. I don't want her. So luckily I had a very good manager who basically said, you get her, you get nobody. And so he said, well, I need somebody to tune my car, so bring her on. So I flew there, tuned the car, and at the end of it, he said, I don't want to work with anybody else. So it was a good experience to kind of throw somebody around.
That's what I'm talking about. So after hearing all of your bios, what you do to make very, very integral parts of motorsports, you all do very different things in the ecosystem that we call motorsports as a whole. What's something that goes on behind the scenes that people might not see every day, but it's critical to making performance on race day happen?
I think that the key is, there are so many things that go into it. And if those of us behind the scenes are doing our jobs, actually, you all aren't really seeing that because you come, we have a race, it's entertaining, everything works. I think what it is how much we prepare.
the amount of preparation and details and thinking through what could happen and working together to make sure you're prepared is probably the thing that I don't know that folks realize. There are a myriad of things we've got to be thinking about when you're in live sports, motorsports. Things can happen. So we have to be really prepared and have thought through all of that. And it's a lot of work. I think there's a perception sometimes you go and it's fun, and it is. We are blessed, but it is a tremendous amount of work, and it is not really a job. It's almost a lifestyle. So if you're prepared for that and you've thought through it and you thrive on that, great. But it's all that goes into what you ultimately see that I don't think there's quite a realization of.
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Lisa said and just say it's everything. What do you not see that's important? It is all of the preparation. It is did you do all of your homework and think about anything that could have potentially go wrong or what could be changed? I'll give you a little bit of an example of going to a racetrack and then having somebody ask we're going to change the aero package on you now. You're already here at the track and you've already developed the tire and we're in the race weekend, and now you need to change what the tire is going to do to make, for whatever reason, to make racing more interesting. So being able to, did you already do all the finite element studies? Did you already do all of your CFD work? Do you know exactly what's going to happen if you make that change? And that's not anything you expect, but there are so many little details that if you are thinking about what all could potentially happen, what could go wrong, what could go right, it's all those little things. So it's from the engineering side to the manufacturing side to like the very small things like making sure you have the right processes in place in the manufacturing facility to make sure you have consistent race tires. So it's so many things behind the scenes that you will never see, and you get to go to a racetrack and enjoy a great race weekend because we've already done the work.
Yeah, I'll kind of reiterate that as well, but I think it's, the validation. So a little bit from my side of things is, some of the things that you don't see is when you are watching a car go around the racetrack, that back at the shop, we have validated the software, and that's using kind of running it on a hill. So that's a hardware in the loop simulation. So that's kind of testing every single aspect of the strategy that you're going to run at that racetrack has been tested at the shop prior to that weekend. And there could be changes in the strategy going on all the way up until kind of a couple days before race day. And being able to test that, validate it, just like it's on a real car, but back in the shop is kind of one of those things that's really good for us to be able to prepare for it. And it takes a lot of people's involvement. So it's everybody from strategy to the performance group, to the dyno team, to electrical systems group. And it's everybody working together and collaborating to verify that they have everything tested, and kind of everybody has kind of ticked those boxes on making sure that it's ready to go.
So it's the time, it's the effort, it's the hours of work put in, it's the preparation. You get to the track, some days you have good days, and then some days there are bad days, and things don't go the way they were planned. How do you handle those days?
Yeah, that's true in life and any job we have. And I think it's the ability to try to be somewhat graceful under pressure. The key is, depending on your role, is the ability to just assess it and handle it as best you can. Whether that's asking for help, it's not like you have to own it. But you get to the track, and there's probably something varying degrees most weekends. Say in my world is more the marketing side of it. Say we're hosting people, which is a very important element of motorsports. It's a lot of money companies spend to engage folks to bring them for an experience. It can be anything from we lost an executive once, dropped off from a pace car ride at the Speedway. Okay, what? It's race morning. They dropped off an do you know how many times we asked where the drop off was? Knowing, like, that sounds so little, but it really is not. So you get enough people, it's being prepared. So that's a perfect example. Indy 500 race morning, Bridgestone Japan executive dropped off all the way, oh my God, remember that? All the way around. But we knew to have people on deck. Remember that? But you had people on deck because we knew that's probably not going to go well. So we were prepared. But it's the little things that aren't little.
So we talk about preparation, and there are so many examples. I was thinking about this, and there's so many examples I could give you, from something like going back to Indianapolis, and a wheel gets loose from a car, and now it's headed towards the stands, and how do you handle that? From the engineering side, it's a track that's just gotten repaved, and you don't have the ability to get on track, and you don't have the ability to redo tires based on a completely different characteristic of a racetrack. I'm talking Iowa, Indy next. All of a sudden, the speeds are lightning fast, and these cars are as fast as Indy cars, and that's not what we had designed the tires for. So there are many times, and you have to deal with these things. It's not like you're like, no, I didn't prepare for this. We take Phoenix. The other example of this year is Phoenix. So we're near the last race of the year, and somebody says something about Phoenix. We're like, no, they wouldn't go to a brand new oval at the beginning of the year. That's ridiculous. We wouldn't do that. And then we start to hear a little bit more rumors, and we're like, okay, I think this is happening, and I think it's going to be in March. So, and just so you know, we did not have a tire that was going to work at Phoenix. We did not have a single tire in our inventory ready to go that we could just pick up, and not a construction. We probably had compounds that were going to be ready, but we had to completely do a brand new tire, and it's motorsports. So you need to make it work. You need to make sure your product is the best it can be for us. Safety is number one, so we can't have any tire issues, but we don't have a tire that works, and we have 7 months in order to make this happen. So Lisa talked about asking questions. We are not the end-all be-all expert of everything. There are so many people around us, and we put ourselves in situations where you have good people around us. You have people that can challenge you and ask you good questions. So when we had this come up, first I look at my team, what can we do? And then you look upward. We need to make sure our executive team understands the seriousness of this racetrack. We need to get the investment in order to support the engineering work that needs to happen. So that is racing though, right, Georgia? Anytime you're at the racetrack, something could happen, something could go wrong.
Yeah, I'll give a quick story, I guess, of something that I was actually involved in. When I was at Motec, we had a kind of a new electronic box that was being debuted at the 24-hour race. So we had a box in there, and it did not function correctly. And we were kind of panicking over it at the race weekend, and we kind of had to sit down, put our heads together, and say, okay, what can we do about this? So we ended up coming up with kind of a solution for an interim solution. Then when we got back to the office, we had about 5 weeks before Sebring, and we had to turn around 100 PCBs that all had to be fixed because they had a heat issue. Turn them around within 5 weeks, get them all ordered in, get them soldered, get them connected, put them in a box, test them all in the oven, and then get them back out to the racetrack. So that was something that we didn't expect coming into the 24-hour race, and kind of had to just pause, take a deep breath, think about what a solution could be, and then take those 5 weeks and kind of do all hands on deck on getting a solution back to the track.
I forgot the very important end of my story. We did a tire test in Gateway. We did 2 tire tests in Phoenix. We had an open test, and we had a race, and we had 0 tire issues.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. That's what I'm talking about. So motorsports is always evolving, as you all know very well, because that is definitely part of your job to make it better. But it definitely seems like this season, IndyCar specifically, there's a momentum behind it. What excites you about the evolution of motorsports in the trajectory that it's heading right now?
The work that has gone into it by a lot of people and a lot of sponsors and the athletes, all who have come together for the greater good. And I think that Fox is a huge part of that with the NTT IndyCar series. Fox, Georgie, your team on site, everybody is working together for a common goal, and everybody feels proud, they're passionate, there's a sense of trust, there's a lot of relationships, all the things that if you probably went to any business school or conversation, they're very fundamental, and they really apply here. With just a couple extra layers of what we do is very public, what we do is dangerous. There's a lot of money being spent, but I really think, and I'm very excited about everybody's banding together. I feel like we've got great partners. Cannot underestimate what Penske's operation, Penske Entertainment, has done, taking this over right before COVID, and the Speedway. So I think We've got the right teams and the right people, and everybody is moving in the same direction.
All right, I've got a two-part answer from a technology side. What is great to see, especially as a child of a science teacher, we did biology walks and all. Sustainability is now becoming important with motorsports. At Bridgestone, Honda, others, there's a lot of emphasis that we put on using circular and sustainable materials, and seeing more and more of that involvement in motorsports, where you used to think motorsports is just dirty and there's nothing green about it. But to be able to prove out some of these new technologies is really exciting. But I have to also say that I love the IndyCar paddock. If there's something that goes wrong, like being in the IndyCar paddock is amazing. People support each other. We have this great group of engineers within the IndyCar series that just really supports each other. And like, if somebody wins, it's not did Pato or Ward win? It's well, Kate's on his car. Kate was on this car. She won? Or Angela was on that car and she won. So it's just a phenomenal group and a phenomenal support. I love the IndyCar series and what we can do there.
Yeah, for me, it's the electrification. Obviously, being part of the electrical systems group, seeing kind of the introduction of hybrid systems into more and more race cars is really exciting for me. We get to have a lot of involvement in that, which is really good. And I think we're all really learning. So it's really kind of awesome to see the innovation, the tight packaging, the thermal concerns that you have when you're putting a hybrid system in the car, all the kind of little bits and pieces of how do you mate an engine with an MGU, and how do you make all of these components function together. So for me, it's really exciting because I get to have a big involvement in it. And it's also exciting because I think for the future, you're going to see more and more hybrids kind of evolving in different racing series.
Okay, this is my last question for you ladies before we open it up, so get those questions going. There's a lot of students, early professionals, or maybe just people interested in getting into motorsports in the audience. What's one piece of advice that you would give to them if they were just getting their foot in the door in motorsports?
For those of you that are here, you've already made an amazing first step. You're here, you're meeting people, you're networking, you're asking questions. We don't all always want to do that. That's not very natural, but it's important. It's relevant. There's, I'll give you a quick example. There's a woman who I went to Miami of Ohio. She somehow realized I did forever ago. She reached out to me. One thing has led to another. She's in WIMNA. She's very proactive. She stays in touch. I believe she now has an marketing internship with a company that does a lot of work. That is 100% because she reached out and she raised her hand and she made the connection. And you just keep looking. It's not one thing, I'm behind, I have to just be that job. I came from an ad agency. I'm marketing, there's a lot of things you can do. It's just pursue it and keep at it and ask questions. And again, just the fact you're here, join WIMNA, meet people. Because I'll tell you, if I'm at a track or I'm interviewing or something and I see somebody that I've met or joined, that will make a difference. So, just stay the course and build as many relationships as you can. And raise your hand.
So mine is a little bit more practical for the students. That's very, very practical. Mine's getting into the nitty gritty. Work on communication and presentation skills. We see a lot of great engineers that are very smart, but if they can't communicate how a product works or why you should be interested in investing in a product, that doesn't bode well for you. So having that. The other is check out a book on emotional intelligence. We have a lot of diversity in the engineering field, but to have somebody who can understand how they act and how they respond, and then also see what other people are responding or acting, and being able to control or manage through emotions in very difficult situations. That's my one piece of advice. So emotional intelligence and communication, 2 pieces of advice. I can't count.
Yeah, mine is also just to be honest, So I think one of the biggest things that I learned in motorsports is that if you're in a situation where somebody needs you to solve a problem and you don't know the answer, it's okay to say, I don't know the answer. As long as you're willing to do the work, to put in the effort, to find that answer, to find that solution. It'd be much better off for a team owner, for a race engineer, for a driver to hear, hey, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to find out. And you come back with the right solution. It's way better than saying something that isn't quite right, or you're kind of guessing, because it ends up biting you. And those kind of impacts that you have, especially early on in your career, really stand out to people. So I think having people be able to say, oh yeah, they solved that problem for me, and they knew exactly what to do, and they were able to put the effort in and find that solution, looks a lot better than, oh yeah, I remember them, but they told me some things and they kind of forgot, and they didn't really know what they were talking about, and ended up finding out that caused a problem on my car. That's way worse. So to me, it's be honest about it and do the work to get to the solution if you don't know it in the first place.
Amazing advice. It's now your time to shine. Anyone have any questions? Okay, let's start here. And I think it's probably small enough that we can.
We shouted, just shout it out. So, come
here.
Show yourself. Wait, you gotta face everybody. Tell them your name and how old you are.
I'm Nika, and I'm 10 years old. Wait. My question is, what's it like when you have the car on the track and it's already racing, but you figure out that you had a problem and it could potentially make you lose the race?
Oh, that's a really good question, Mika. I'm gonna handle that one. So when you're at the racetrack, if you have a product and if you've already built it or you're already on the track, there's not much you can do. There's some changes that you might be able to do making during a pit stop. What can you do looking at strategy? And maybe you have what you have. You have the tires you have the cars that you have. If you made a mistake in setup or you made a mistake, there's only so much that you can change. But being able to maximize the best that you can get out of what you have. Sometimes you're not going to have the best thing, but how do I get the best out of what we actually have to make it work and to make your car finish?
Huh.
Good question.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Say your name and where you're from.
So hello, my name is Emily Palacios. I'm from Whittier, California, just around the greater Los Angeles area. I'm actually a journalism student and a marketing minor at California State University, Dominguez Hills, literally like right around the corner. And so I come here not because like my professor made me or like offered extra credit. I came here because I took the initiative to kind of like work on myself and my career. And so I'm a woman in sports. I want to go into admin PR and journalism, but I also want to take that business step. So I was literally telling my professor this today. I have been fighting imposter syndrome because I'm in my classroom with male dominance. And I was just telling one of my colleagues, the peers in the audience, that I suffer from a lot of, I guess, harsh comments from the male field. So my question to you guys is, how do you manage imposter syndrome when you're in a male-dominated field?
You're not an imposter. That's just somebody else's way. That's about them. So any comments you're getting or whatever, that is 100% about them and others. We all probably to some degree have that. Just so you know, I don't know anybody that doesn't to varying degrees.
Can we get a poll of hands? Who here has?
I think we all sometimes go. I mean,
do you see how many hands are up?
Yeah. So we all do. I did. I mean, yours in, and I'm sitting at a table, but it was like a 1 second thing where you go, oh yeah, that's what that is, and that's not actually true, and not taking in what either is or you're perceiving they're all thinking. It doesn't matter what they're thinking because that's about them. So the good news is I come from exactly what you just described. I studied Marcoms. I worked at a big agency in Chicago and then a second agency client. There is a fabulous career to be built. It's men and women. The fact that you got up and came up here and were honest about it means you recognize what it is. So now you just have to go, okay, I hear this, I'm thinking that, but it really isn't. You're probably really good at what you do and just keep doing it. You cannot think about what other people, unless it's like a helpful hint. Like, we work together, so there's times where it's great. Like, I'll have a blind spot to something.
And I'll have something in my teeth.
Or something in my teeth. Nose. Tire across our head. And those are the right things you want. But that rest of that is noise. And you have 100% control to block out the noise. You decide who you want to be, and you show up as you. They can go away. They have no idea what they're doing. I can't hear how many times I'm like, y'all get in here, and I'm listening, and I'm like, you don't know. You said it perfectly. And this isn't against men. I want to be very clear about when, like, there's just some people who are just from the way that will come to the table, and then they have every right to be at the table, and then you're like, what did you just say? Like, just have confidence in yourself. Because unfortunately, if you don't, when it should be, that will actually undermine you. You will inadvertently, in response to that, undercut yourself. Don't do that.
I'm going to add a little bit of a different perspective. I have struggled with imposter syndrome, and I think finally in the last few years, I feel a lot more confident, but I have a couple tricks. I'm going to tell you guys about my tricks. So one thing, if you were to open up my phone right now and you were to go into my photos, I have a folder called I am. And every time somebody sends me a text that is true, that's positive, that's exactly me. Somebody might say, hey, thanks for helping me out in this leadership thing, or, I see what the amazing things that you did there. I will screenshot that and I will put that in that folder. And if I'm having a moment where I'm feeling like, I just don't feel it, or am I, and a lot of people can not have imposter syndrome or just think about that a little bit. But then for some of us, it's a little bit more difficult. I think I have much less than I used to have in the past. And I mean, I'm leading a whole group that does some pretty amazing things at the racetrack. But that's one key. The other one, I like to call this the story that you tell yourself. If you guys have ever heard of an elevator pitch, it's like something good about something, but what is the story that you tell yourself about yourself? What are some of those things? I had a boss once tell me that, I was one of the most compassionate leaders at Bridgestone. And I was like, okay, that's something I'm going to tell myself. So even if it's something that you repeat to yourselves in the morning or something that you say, just keep defining your narrative. I don't like the term fake it till you make it, but practice it and try it until you are it.
I just want to add one comment is also just let the work speak for itself. So, when you put that work out there, if it's good work, people are going to know that. People are going to recognize that it's good work. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. If it's good work, it's good work. So I think if you let that speak for itself, people will come around to that anyway.
Stand right here. And let's take a picture with you and these amazing lady. I'll take it to that. Maybe they'll autograph or you. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thanks for asking the question.
Try not to get wrapped up in with. Your dating on my.
Yes. Hi everyone, so I'm Khalil Barry Spencer, senior mechanical engineering student at Cal State Long Beach. So my question is, what has been the biggest change in motorsport in the last few years, and how should students be preparing for it?
Yeah, I think the biggest change, at least on my side, is the hybrid introduction. So, and again, I'm probably partly biased because I'm part of the electrical systems group, so that's a big part for me. But I think if you're at all interested in that area, then getting exposed to the hybrid systems is pretty important. Even just understanding what they are and how they interact with other components on the car, on that side. And then, yeah, I guess, I mean, for me, from starting when I was trackside back in 2013, when I first started in motorsports, there was not a lot of women at all at the track. Not seeing a lot in any kind of area of the racetrack. And going there now, there's so many more tire changers, race engineers, data acquisition, all kinds of different positions. So I think being aware of how to collaborate with both people and understand that everybody comes from a different perspective, so that their experience and their interactions may be something that you're not kind of used to or that you haven't met before, but being able to collaborate with them in whatever facet you need to is also really important.
Grant? Great question. Yeah, I think one other thing to just keep in mind as we talk about the technology and the evolution of motorsport, at least in IndyCar series, is one, if you read and watch what's happening in series, you'll get insight into the changes, the tech hybrid. But where I'm taking this, remember, it ultimately, for any manufacturer or sponsor in it, at the end of the day, it's about business. Like, we race to race, it's in our DNA, but at the end of the day, it's about business. So if we look at where auto manufacturing technology is going, where tire tech sustainability, what's important to companies, I'm talking again like the manufacturing side, is to some degree, I think, where you'll see some ebb and flow. It's like how Formula E was able to get some traction, pun intended, because of electric. Yeah. So if you think about the world at large and those businesses, that oftentimes will also help you get an understanding of why companies go racing.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, Motor City. I'd love to hear Lynn's comment on this question. Can you give any perspective on Danica Patrick's career, racing she did, and how can we get more details into IndyCar racing?
Put me on the spot. I met Danica when she was 14. She came to my driver development program. Now she started go-karting when she was 10. I definitely saw something special in her, and she came back when she was 16 when she could finally drive a stick shift. And, she came from a family of racers. I mean, her mom and dad, I think, met when they were racing, ice racing or something when they were up in Wisconsin. And so it was in her DNA, and she has a handshake that'll take you to your knees. And I always felt affirmed by, the elevator speech is something that I would teach at my driver development. You should be able to quickly identify who you are, what is the most important thing that you've done, and what is the most important thing you need. You should be able to say that in less than 30 seconds. And with a handshake and eye contact. And Danica just had that ability, right out of the box. Obviously we can have all kinds of impressions and comments about her career. I wish she'd stayed in IndyCar, but she decided to go to the NASCAR world. And, she knows who she is, and she is authentically who she is. And I think that being honest, but also being authentic. There was a lot of controversy when she did the photos and, with her GoDaddy and all that, but that's who she was. Nobody made her do something that, she wasn't comfortable with. So I encourage everybody we all have an identity. We all know who we are, and don't try to be somebody else. And I actually had to deal with that with a lot of young drivers that were coming to me then. Do I have to do that? And I'm like, no, you have to identify who you are, what you're about, and that's your statement, and that's who you should look for sponsors with and all of that. So I think she did a lot for motorsports because she stayed in it for so long. She was so successful, winning an IndyCar race, leading the Indy 500, for God's sake, almost winning the Indy 500. I mean, she did a lot for motorsports. The answer of how to get more women in motorsports is a very long one. I don't want to take everybody's time here, but I think we've got more women competing today than we've ever had. And I'm actually personally now working more again on drivers because WIMNA is about all careers in motorsports, so I wasn't allowed to talk about drivers a lot. And now I'm kind of getting back into that space. The biggest thing that I feel race car drivers, particularly females, it's war out there. Catherine and I have talked about that. Catherine Legg is the mindset. I think, you know, they've got the talent, they've got the skills, they've got the desire, but when you get out there, it's war. You've got to go for every piece of that asphalt and every, you know, it's war. And that's the way the guys race. And, you know, I think we've still got some work to do on the mindset because, excuse me, how old are you?
10.
10, I missed that. I mean, we have young people like this now and understanding what's in their brain, you know, at 10, 12, 14, 16 years old is a whole different ballgame. So, but we've got talent, we've got desire, we've got passion, and we've got abilities to be able to, you know, to demonstrate that women, car doesn't know the difference. Doesn't say I got a gallon and I'm not going to give it all my horsepower.
Thanks, Lynn. We have time for one more question, and your hand went up first. So you're going to be our last question of the night.
This driver has somebody to offer me on a 2 flat swing, that's an 400, and I need a new tip. So did I get that Thursday? She got together yet. The plate back on. The journalists, we have a lot of AI that is coming in and how is best with AI tools. And I hate myself every time I go on the ChatGPT, but there is something that's cool about it. I kind of figure out how much I want to get into it for my job, but I just wonder where you all are with AI at this moment in time.
AI is only as good as the information you put into it. And just as you go, as you're looking at school projects or anything, just be very, very cautious in the data that is going into your model. So any development work we're doing with AI is in a closed system. It's not going out to the internet. It's pulling from known databases and known data. We do a bit of predictive modeling when we look at compounds and other things, but very much still in a closed system. It should just be cautious. I think I use AI maybe if I'm doing a presentation and I need to send something to an executive very quickly, and please read through this and reword some things. But I would say just very cautiously so far from our side.
Yes, same here. We kind of use it. It takes notes in our meetings, which is very useful. It does. So that's a big part of what we use it for, to kind of recap meetings. So you're not sitting there scribbling notes down. It kind of does it for you, so you can kind of remember what we were all talking about, what the major points are, and kind of have something to go back to and reference. And that's for everybody in that meeting. So I think it's useful there. In terms of a design aspect, in terms of a validation aspect, we're really not using it that much in terms of the electrical systems, at least.
That's so interesting. When she said that, I was wondering myself, I'm like, how do you use AI? Guys, that is all the time we have for questions. Can we give one huge round of applause for our lovely panelists, Cara, Lisa, and Hannah, Meredith, Cindy, Lynn, and everyone. I don't know if anyone else wants to say some closing remarks, but if I could say some closing remarks, thank you so much for being here. We have an exciting race weekend ahead of us with the Long Beach Grand Prix. If you're coming out to the track, you might see us there. We'd love to see you. And if not, please watch on Fox.
And a thank you to Georgia, and make sure y'all are tuning in to Fox and catching Georgia and the team, because I'm going to say it. She does an amazing job.
Thank you.
She does. And she and the team, and she knows her stuff. So if anybody has any questions, don't leave Georgia out of this mix. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And one big round of applause for you guys, too, for being here and hanging out with us tonight.
There you go. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you so much, ladies. If I could have Tammy Lorenzen come up here just to give some information about Lions Museum. We're very appreciative of allowing us to host our event here.
Sure. And time. Oh, yeah.
And also, too, we're about to do the raffle drawing as soon as Tammy is done. So I just want to let you folks know If you haven't gotten your raffle tickets yet, run over there right now and go ahead and get those before they're gone. So hold on.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Thank you to WIMNA for picking our facility. We appreciate it. It's all about women. Just a little brief history about Lions Automobilia Foundation and Museum. It was started by my father, Rick Lorenzen, and he just kind of wanted to go back in time. He grew up at Lions Drag Strip, and he decided that he wanted to bring that to life again. And so he built this with, as you can see, all the murals. He brought in artists specifically to do the murals that you see in all of the rooms, just to go back in time where he said life was simple, the simple times. And he grew up at Lions Drag Strip. We have a t-shirt that we sell because his famous saying was, "I lost 2 girlfriends in my hearing at Lions Drag Strip." So, and with that, I kind of got into the whole racing arena as well. I didn't go to Lions Drag Strip, of course, but I've been going to Pomona and a lot of the races around Long Beach Grand Prix. And so I'm kind of getting a little bit more into it. I have a 42 Willys pickup that they built from the ground up, so I've gotten a lot more into the cars. And my dad, when I was younger, he said, you know, what are you going to do with all my cars when I'm gone? And I'm like, I'm going to sell them, but not anymore. Now we have this wonderful museum for everybody to come and enjoy, and we can showcase everything. That was his dream, so I'm just keeping his legacy alive. And I'm going to bring Lana up on stage, our executive director, to talk a little bit about our programs that we have, because it is all about education as well for Lions Automobilia. That was another one of my dad's passions, is to keep this going and to continue striving.
Thank you, Tammy. I want to thank everybody. It's funny, I was just in a meeting with somebody talking about expanding our education. So we're pretty excited about a lot of what we have going on here. So like I said, we started in 2019, and one of Rick's dreams was to share his passion and bring the next generation on board as fabricators, as engine builders. You know, there's so many trades in the automotive aftermarket and in motorsports. I mean, you could go from being a designer to a driver. So there's so many opportunities, and a lot of youngsters growing up now, I don't think they realize what's available. So that is our dream. It's just give them opportunities, maybe a pathway to a career or pathway to even just a hobby, just to enjoy the love and the culture of motorsports and automotive. So we have, of course, SAE, which I give all the credit to Dean Case, who is absolutely, I mean, he deserves it, you guys. He's brought tonight together with WIMNA. I mean, we have multiple events throughout the year now. We've been, 5 years now working this together. It's getting larger and larger, and we're so proud of the program. I'm so thankful for Dean and all of his support in SAE and working with the colleges. So that's just one element, and we're bringing in high school tours, we're bringing in workshops, a lot of other elements just to let people know, or let the youngsters know what's available. We have a Pinewood Derby program we're going to be launching this year. Something simple, just build a wooden car, just to get them and have them grab the passion that we have. Myself, I was literally born in motorsports. I'm sure like Melanie was. I mean, we don't know anything else other than a drag strip. So I literally grew up in my dad's machine shop. So we're inherited. We understand that passion. We grew up in it. And for me, it's a passion to share that with other people, because it is such a phenomenal opportunity to be in the automotive aftermarket, to be in motorsports. That's, I don't think either one of us want a real job, right? We want to be a part of this. So we just want to show, the next generation all these opportunities that are out there. So I want to thank everybody to be here tonight. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on such a great event, you guys. This is amazing. All of our co-sponsors, just thank you for being here tonight and supporting WIMNA. Thank you.
That would be.
So we have these fine young women who are here from Temple City High School, and they are the Racer X 2 all-female solar car team. So they're organizing the raffle here. Let's tell them how much we appreciate what they've done. And as you saw, one of the prizes that we had was a Stand 21 gift certificate, and everybody who's in racing knows how important Stand 21 is to motorsport safety. They're having an event this Saturday as part of the Long Beach Grand Prix. I would like Romaine to come up and just give a quick rundown so all of you would know a little bit more detail about it.
See? Thank you. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, we do a safety seminar on Saturday morning from 9 to 11, home 203. So, Stand 21 is a French-based company, so you can see with a French accent, obviously, but we have a company in US, 2 offices in US. So, we bring a lot of experts, a lot of people sharing the best practices, the experts about safety. Because safety is our duty, and it's very important in motorsport. The company was created by my dad in 1969, and there was absolutely no safety at that time. So that's why we like to share and bring a lot of people to make sure that any advice, any tips, anything you can learn to I would say, upgrade your safety and learn more about safety. Because a lot of people, they talk about safety standard, SFI, FIA, so on, but they don't know in details. So we like to share the details, and anything we can help, you're very welcome. That's why we did the Safety Foundation, just to make sure we can do seminar and share all the good things you need to know. Thank you, and hope to see you on Saturday morning.
Well, that's it.
Thank you. All right, so let's get to the fun part of this event, the raffle. Okay, I'm going to have the young ladies over here help pull out the tickets. Who feels lucky? And no. Oh, and also too, this will take just a couple minutes. Afterwards, we're going to have a photo op where all of us are going to gather up here and take a photo of who was here. So it's a fun thing that we love to do with WIMNA, and we'd love if you could just stick around just a few more minutes just for that. Okay. So the first prize is a WIMNA t-shirt.
Yes, spirits.
And the winner is it Global? Global? All right, ticket number 689.
Everybody.
Okay. We'll have you head back to the table with that ticket, and then you can go ahead and give Global the prize. Next one. This is the one I wanted. Knott's Berry Farm passes, and there's a bottle of wine and a t-shirt. All right, let's see who won.
Clinton Kwan.
All right, Clinton, good job. Woohoo! Okay, so go ahead and take this back. You can give it to Clinton.
That's a second.
Fantastic. Okay, so go ahead and take him back, and you can give him the prize.
But I come.
Oh, you dropped it back in. It's okay. We know it's Clinton. It's all right. Okay, cool. All right, next one up is a Lynn Heiner 14 by 11 print. Anybody know Lynn Heiner in this room? Yes. Woohoo! I have a Lynn Heiner original in my house, so I'm very proud, very excited about this.
Yeah.
Oh, Angela Lamb.
Ooh, Angela, good job. All right. So go ahead and take that back for her. Okay. Next up, we have a WIMNA scarf from Women Would Drive.
Shaylee?
It is ticket number 5367637. Anybody have a ticket that ends with 637? Yes? Fantastic. All right. Go ahead and give that to him.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, we got the pickleball items. What next? Oh, you want the other scarf? Okay, we'll do the other scarf.
limited edition dog.
Whoops. Oh, sorry. Touch the floor. I guess I'll have to take that one. All right.
Oh, Chaley.
The percent kilos.
635. Did you win both of them? Fantastic. Woohoo! Congratulations.
Hey, listen, right?
All right. Let's do the pickleball items. Ooh, we got a few in here. And this is for both rackets.
Abby.
Paddles, sorry.
What, right?
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Ooh, the grandstand project. All right.
Aurora C.
Aurora, part of our team. Nice. Good job, Aurora. Can you grab that for me? All right. Shirley Muldowney signed poster. Now, the thing with this one, we have a few of them. So guess what? If you put your raffle ticket in, you won. So let's see who won. Jeffrey Willerth. Good job, Jeffrey. Nice. So you can take him to the back and he can get a poster. Next one, Suzanne Lacey. All right, Suzanne. And then the last one, Jordan Burns. That would be my child. Awesome. Okay, he's 21. Sorry. Okay, so we have those.
That's enough.
Lashify control kit. Okay, we'll let Leilani choose.
The puppies. Keep it playing.
Ed and Gina.
Ed and Gina. 647.
Insert that.
Ed and Gina. 2 people.